Palm Beach County, our local real estate market printed some very interesting data last quarter. We need to forget about the national headlines and focus on what's going on in our local real estate market right now. If you stay tuned, I'll get into all that next. Let's get into the average sales price data. If we compare September of 2022 to September of 2023, you can see that we've experienced a whopping 12% price increase since this time last year. So year over year, price growth is up in Palm Beach County, which is just blowing my mind, frankly. But let's not react too quickly here. We all know that average price data can be a little skewed. Let's take a look at the trend line. And when we look at the trend line, you can see that May of 2023 is the highest the average sales price has been in recent years in our county at $885,000. And if we look at that and compare it to today's number, we're down 18% right now. Since we all know that the average sales price data can be a little skewed, a little volatile, let's take a look at the median sales price data. And if we compare September of 2022 to September of 2023, we can see that we are up 9% since last year. But does the trend line tell the same story this time? You can see here on the median sales price graph that prices overall since last year are still trending up. We can't dispute this data. Prices are going up. So what does the sale to original list price ratio graph have to tell us about our market here in Q3 of 2023? Well, we all know in March, April, May of 2022, properties were still trading at or above their asking price on average. And over the past year, they've been trading 7 to 8% less than their original list price on average. But it's been relatively stable. We haven't really seen huge increases or decreases in this data, suggesting that the market, again, is stable and healthy. And even over the past 3 months, we've kind of seen it creep up a little bit, which is a positive thing, suggesting healthy demand in the market. So overall, this is a very optimistic metric for sellers. Days on market is a very important data point to watch, in my opinion. It's really going to quickly signal whether demand is increasing or decreasing in our marketplace. So with that being said, if we compare September of 2023 to September of 2022, you'll see that there's been a 61% increase in the days on market. That's a pretty big number, but let's take a look deeper at the trend line and the historical data here. So the average days on market right now is 53 in Palm Beach County, compared to 33 a year ago. But if we look at the trend line, you can see that we've been relatively stable around the 50, 60 days on market range over the past year. So I'm not too worried about this. It feels like the market is still healthy and demand is still there, and it hasn't gone up. In fact, it's come down a little bit from its peak in February. And if we look at some historical data and go back to 2015 through 2019, the average days on market was around 80. So 53 days, man, that's pretty low. That's definitely signaling seller's market still. Now let's talk about inventory. This is the big topic everyone's talking about right now. It's all over the national news. So the number of listings graph is going to tell us a little bit more about what's going on in our local market here in Palm Beach County regarding inventory. In September of 2023, our real estate market sold 2,029 homes. And if we compare that to the same time last year, we see that we're down about 9%. Should we be concerned about this? Well, if we're comparing ourselves to March of 2021, we're probably freaking out because in March of 2021, 4,300 homes were sold. But that was a very unique and abnormal moment in time. So if we roll the clock back a little further and look at the data between 2016 and 2019, we see that on average, 2,500 to 3,000 homes were selling each month. So generally speaking, I'm not too concerned about this. We're a little lighter than the average historically, but I think we need to look at a little bit more data to understand why this is happening to really determine if we're concerned or not about this. As of October 1st, we're seeing a 4% increase in the active listings on the market compared to the same time last year. But inventory is still very low. It's 45% less than December of 2019, which is just crazy. This low inventory is probably a contributing factor in why the number of transactions are relatively low as well. But it's absolutely a contributing factor in why prices are stable, if not growing, in our real estate market, despite high insurance rates and high mortgage rates. It's always important that we keep our eye on the pending data because pending data is a leading indicator. It will hopefully give us an idea of what's going to happen in the next couple months versus closed data, which is a lagging indicator. So we put 6% more homes under contract this month, September 2023, compared to September of 2022. And if we look at this data a little closer, it suggests that we are going to print the same or similar sold data in October and November as we did in September of this year. Now let's talk absorption rate, super important metric to keep our eyes on. It really helps us understand demand as it relates to inventory. The absorption rate shows how long the current rate of inventory would last at the current rate of sales. So, for example, if no new properties were added to the market and sales continued at a steady pace, the absorption rate indicates how many months it would take for all the properties on the market today to sell. The absorption rate in Palm Beach County is 3.65 months. If we compare that to the same time last year, September of 2022, we see that we were at about 3 months of inventory. So we're up compared to the same time last year. Now, if we look at the trend line overall, we can see that in the last 12 months, we've mostly been above 3.5 months of inventory. So overall, the absorption rate has been relatively stable over the past year. So what does this all mean for us? Well, typically we say if the absorption rate is 6 months or greater, we are in a buyer's market. If it's 6 months or around the 6-month mark, it's a neutral market. If it's 6 months or less, it's a seller's market. So this is yet another metric that indicates that we are in a seller's market. One comment that I'd like to make about this table here is that when you see the $1.5 million plus price point showing an 11-month absorption rate, that's suggesting that we are in a buyer's market in this price point. But from a boots on the ground experience, the most recent listings that we've sold above 1.5 million, it does not feel like we are in a buyer's market at all, especially for those properties that are in good shape and good condition and very desirable. It feels like we are very much so in a seller's market, so take this data point with a grain of salt. Overall, the resilience of the South Florida real estate market has definitely surprised me. If you would have asked me to guess a year ago what the market was going to be like today, I would have told you that it would be much weaker than what we're seeing right now. Prices are still growing despite increased interest rates and an insurance market crisis. This is pretty crazy. The data such as inventory, days on market, absorption rate, and the sale to original list price ratio are all showing a stronger market than the 2015 to 2019 years. Despite the affordability issues with the rates and the insurance, it seems that there's still a healthy quantity of buyers ready to absorb the current level of inventory at these prices and the carry cost. We've rolled through the summer and the early fall, and we didn't experience as much of a lag as I would have anticipated. It appears that the continued population growth combined with the limited number of sellers is going to keep this real estate market in the seller's advantage for some time. What we have noticed from listing a ton of property this year is that Class A product, property that's in a great location, in great condition, is selling for a premium. As compared to property that's Class B or C, in an inferior location, inferior condition, it's taking a lot longer to sell and it's a lot harder to sell them in general. That could be for many reasons, such as insurance right now. So the gap between premium product and product that needs a lot of love is definitely increasing right now. Generally speaking, the real estate market data that we just reviewed does not show any signs of an imminent market crash like some people have been guessing or suggesting will happen. It actually looks the opposite. It looks like the market is improving here over time. And that's primarily due to the low inventory environment. And that doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. So we may all just need to accept this as the new norm. And that's all we have for you today. Thanks for taking the time to watch it to the very end. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more content just like this. Hit the like button if you found some value. And I'm Larry Mastrapuri, broker owner of the Mastrapuri Group based right here in South Florida. And we'll see you on the next one.